Virginia. The latest news and recaps in the world of professional wrestling. Welcome to the Wrestling Artistry Podcast. And now, here's your host, Andre Smith.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode number 13 of the Wrestling Artistry Podcast. I am your host, Andre Smith, and today I'll be going over the events that happened in All Elite Wrestling on today, December the 8th of 2021. I'll be going over Dynamite as well as Rampage from last week. There might be a couple of spots in which I tie things together, so if I do that, just bear with me. Anyway, Aew Dynamite came from Gas South Arena in Atlanta, Georgia on December the 1st. The program starts off with AEW World Champion Adam Hangman Page joining the commentary table. He was taking the place of good old JR Jim Ross, who is currently fighting skin cancer, so my thoughts and prayers are with good old JR. First match of the night is Bryan Danielson, the American Dragon, versus Dark Order's Allen 5 Angels. Angels is the hometown favorite, him being from Atlanta. Angels hits Bryan with some chops and kicks, but Danielson takes control with a wicked forearm uppercut. Daniel delivers a butterfly suplex into an armbar submission, but Angels gets to the ropes. Angels hits a dive through the ropes, followed by a moonsault outside the ring. Angels misses another moonsault, and Bryan hits the running knee, but he's not done. Danielson grabs Angels' arms, and while Angels is on the mat, Danielson starts kicking him in the head, but still he's not done. Danielson puts the knee bar on for the submission. And then Tony Schiavone joins Danielson in the ring. And Danielson talks about how he tore Angel's MCL, how he knocked out Colt Cabana's tooth last week, and that he was going to take the world title from Page. Page was going to confront Bryan, but John Silver tells Page that Tony Khan said that he and Bryan cannot touch until the Winter is Coming event in, well, what is now going to be in about a week. Side note here, excuse me. Bryan's next opponent, in fact, is going to be the Dark Order's John Silver, emanating from Long Island. I think that'll be tonight, I believe. Next up, we had Lee Moriarty versus CM Punk. MJF is joining the commentary team to the rest of the team's chagrin. And so far, the match seems to be pretty even. And the side story here is how Schiavone just straight up called MJF a terrible person. MJF says that Punk looks haggard and tired. He said that the CM and CM Punk stood for cooking meth. What a classy guy. Lee has an early advantage using arm drags and arm bars to ground Punk. Punk hits Lee with a leg lariat. Lee comes back with kicks and clotheslines. Punk hits a crossbody, but Lee reverses it for a 2 count. Lee immediately gets Punk in the cross race. Punk and Moriarty go through a series of near falls. Punk drops Lee with a roundhouse kick. Punk reverses a suplex attempt to hit the GTS for the win. Now MJF is on the mic. He says that he's proud of Punk, and going on to say that the only thing Punk is the best in the world at is trying to get in Britt Baker's pants. He says that Punk looks unamused and that Punk would Punk had the look that Britt Baker would have if Punk got her in the bedroom. MJF proceeds to call CM Punk one pump jump. Gotta love MJF. Wow. Punk says that MJF looks like he's wearing Larry Davis pajamas. MJF had a whole bunch of symbols and stuff on his suit. You have to watch it to see it. I can't do it justice here. He says that it's fine that MJF talks about him struggling against QT Marshall and Lee Moriarty, but the fact is that they're both better than MJF, and MJF knows it. Punk challenges MJF right there, but MJF turns the challenge down. He proceeds to tell Punk that he'll be better received in Long Island than Piper in Portland, Brett in Canada, and Punk in Chicago. And to close it out, MJF tells Punk that if Punk brings his dog Larry again to the events, that he'll put Larry to sleep. Schiavone is with Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, who announces that Jamie Hayter will take on Riho on the next Dynamite, and if Riho wins, she'll get a title shot. Adam Cole comes out for commentary, but before he does that, he does his boom and baby shtick, which always gets over the crowd. And then, as soon as he sits at the commentary table, he only utters out a few words before Orange Cassidy comes out and gets in Cole's face, using his hand in pocket pose. Then the Young Bucks come out to distract Cassidy, who gets a low blow by Cole. The Bucks mock Cassidy with the slow motion kicks before delivering a double super kick at regular speed to Cassidy. As Cole and the Bucks try for the Triple V trigger, Chucky T and Wheeler Yuta, are the best friends, come out with steel chairs to chase the heels off. Next up, we have Warlow versus AC Adams. Warlow hits a power bomb and another one, and a third one, and a fourth one for the pin. Great way to execute a squash match. Let me see here. Afterwards, Sean Spears, the chairman, hits Adams with a couple of chair shots. Schiavone talks with Penta, El Zero and PAC about the upcoming tag match against FTR, which happened to happen on Rampage. PAC asked Schiavone Schiavone asked PAC was he good to go during the match, to go and through the match. Then PAC asked Schiavone, is he an invalid? PAC says that he's good to go. Sting and Darby Allin versus Gun Club, Billy and Colton Gunn. Two undefeated teams going at it. Allin and Sting have matching face paint. Oh, before I get to that, let me talk about the match between Penta and PAC and FTR, which happened to be the main event of Rampage. Cash Wheeler and Penta were evenly matched during this match, and that was a lot of matches. Anyway, but I digress. PAC tags in and goes up against Dax Harwood. PAC is rocking an eye patch because previously he suffered the black miscourtesy of Malachi Black. FTR show off their tag team prowess. PAC tries for a springboard move off the ropes, but he slips, probably because of the eye injury. After this, FTR is dominating the match. As the Penta gets distracted by Wheeler, PAC is hit by the double team backbreaker elbow for a near fall. Penta tags in and is on a roll. Penta hits a backstabber for a 2 count onto Cash Wheeler. Then hits a power slam. Then Dax hits a leg drop for a near fall. Actually, Cash Wheeler hit a power slam onto Penta. Dax punches PAC in the bad eye, followed by a tiger driver for a very close near fall. All of a sudden, during the match, Black comes out and sprays Mr. PAC's good eye, and then PAC is pinned. And one of the members of ATR snatched the mask off of Penta, while Black digs his hands into PAC's other eye to end the show. So, PAC may be out for a while. All right, back to the tag match on Dynamite. Allin and Sting have matching face paint, which look pretty dope. Allin delivers a shotgun dropkick to Colton. Billy and Sting tag in. Sting hits Billy with back fist, followed by a reverse atomic drop. And one quick note here. This is the first time in 14 years that Sting wrestled in the great city of Atlanta. Billy catches Allin and slings Darby into the mat. That looked brutalizing. Gun Club is dominating the match. Colton at one point had the Scorpion Deathlock on Darby Allin. I forget at what point this happened, but Allin had a laceration on top of his head. Later on, Sting tags in and cleans house. As Sting has a scorpion on quoting, Billy distracts the ref and Austin hits Sting with a punch. Then Allen flies through the ropes like a bat out of hell, dives onto Austin. Allen looked like he had a bad landing doing that. Looked like he landed on his neck or something. Billy hits the finisher on Sting. Then Colton goes to the cover, but Sting kicks out. Then Allen comes back like a crazy man, hits another dive onto Billy Gunn. Allen hits a top stunner, and Sting follows up with a Scorpion Death Drop for the pinfall. So now the Gun Club is no longer undefeated as a team. Alex Marvez is with Jericho, Chris Jericho, Le Champion. He said that he wasn't in the ring last week to help Eddie Kingston. He was there to take out 2.0. Then 2.0, along with Daniel Garcia, jumped Jericho in the back, which took out Jericho to where he could not attend the commentary table at Rampage that Friday. As Taz was talking about how his men had a chance to win the Diamond Ring Tournament, as I would like to call it, Leo Rush comes out saying that he's a fighter and that he has a chance as well. At that point, Dante Martin comes out with Ricky Starks, the FTW champ, and they're all smiles. Looks like Dante is at home with Team Taz. Next up, we have a match in the TBS title tournament as Kris Statlander versus Ruby Soho. Some pretty clean wrestling so far as they're pretty much evenly matched. Ruby went for a closed fist onto Statlander but stopped. Then Statlander went for a boot to the head but stopped and gave Ruby the boop to the nose. Not boot, boop. Soho did not look too happy about that. The wrestling continues with Soho catching Kris with some takedowns. Soho delivers a top rope senton for a near fall. Then Kris executes a Blue Thunder bomb for a 2 count. Kris delivers a buckle bomb and a Falcon Arrow for a very near fall. Soho delivers a Poison Rana followed by another Rana for another very near fall. Kris goes for the Big Bang Theory, but Soho reverses it for the pin. So Soho goes on to advance. Shows Statlander some respect for a handshake and a hug. And as Kris Statlander was walking back towards the stage area, Vicky Guerrero gets in Chris's face talking trash, while Nyla Rose snuck into the ring and slung Soho down to the mat. So the updated brackets for the TBS title tournament is Thunder Rosa versus Jade Cargill and Soho versus Nyla Rose. Now we had the main event for Dynamite as it's an Atlanta street fight as Andrade El Idolo versus Cody Rhodes. T-Pain is in the building. And when Idolo and Cody started going at it, looked like Arn Anderson might have slipped off the ramp or something. He just disappeared and everything. So hopefully he was all right. The action starts off hot and heavy. Cody has some support in his hometown. Probably not as much as he would like. But anyway, Andrade dropped Cody face first into the steps. T-Pain hands Cody a chair. And Cody hears a mixed reaction. Looks like, I don't know whether Cody must have had some, I don't know, flame retardant or Vaseline or something on his back. It looked like his back was like covered in something. But anyway, Andrade uses Cody's weight belt on him. He hits Cody with a laptop in the head. The crowd chants, "We want tables," but Andrade won't answer the fans' request. Andrade delivers a moonsault to Cody onto a chair, only for a 2 count. Cody goes for a Cody cutter, but gets tossed out of the ring. Andrade goes for another moonsault, but Cody throws the chair in his face. Cody hits Andrade with a steel chain around the fist. Cody goes for a tope suicida, but Andrade hits Cody in the face with a chair. Right now, and then that's when Cody is busted open. Cody brings out a candlestick, then a sledgehammer, then a golden shovel. Wonder who his residency with those. Well, for those that may not know, the sledgehammer was a go-to tool for the game Triple H back in the day. And the golden shovel is a reference to supposedly Triple H burying talent at one point in his career. allegedly. Andrade delivers a double knees to Cody with a chair. Now Andrade finally does bring a table. Andrade hip tossed Cody into the table that he set up in the corner. Then he brings in another table. As Cody and Andrade are fighting on the top and second ropes, Brandy Rose comes in, throws some lighter fluid onto the table and catches it on fire. Then Cody hits a reverse suplex on the top rope onto the flaming table for the pinfall victory. What a heck of a match. It was a crazy way to end Dynamite. Now let's segue into Rampage. The show starts off with a match for the TNT Championship as Tony Nese goes up against the champion Sammy Guevara. Guevara jumps Nese, punching and chopping, but Nese targets Sammy's ribs for a temporary advantage. Guevara executes a corkscrew tope dive outside the ring. Throughout this match, Guevara is favoring his taped up ribs. Nese is punishing the midsection of the champ. At the Nese moonsault, Sammy favors his knee. Nese applies a half Boston Crab onto Guevara. Guevara comes back with a clothesline and a springboard cutter for a near fall. Guevara executes a springboard moonsault to the outside of the ring. Nese delivers an outside of the ring dive of his own, followed by a 450 splash for a very near fall. Nese delivers a one-handed powerbomb to the corner. Then Sammy turns around and hits the GTH for the pinfall win. Christian Cage is confident that in his boys of Jurassic Express becoming the next AEW Tag Champions. Jurassic Express, Luchasaurus, Jungle Boy, watch that cat. That's all I'm saying. You never know. Next up, we have Jade Cargill versus the Kick Demon, Janai Kai, who supposedly is Thunder Rosa's student. Oh, boy. Cargill threw her into the mat, kicked her in the face, and hit Jaded for the win. I hope the Kick Demon learned a valuable lesson in this match. After the match, Jade continued to beat on Kai until Thunder Rosa, who was on commentary, came out and a pull-apart brawl ensued. They show footage of Dynamite when 2.0 and Daniel Garcia beat up Chris Jericho. Then they previewed the upcoming match between Bryan Danielson versus John Silver of the Dark Order. And I previously went over the main event, which was FTR versus PAC and Penta and Miedo. Let's see. Before I go, so I have got some good news on a wrestling legend. Hacksaw Jim Duggan he posted on Twitter an announcement that he is cancer free. Thank God. I am so glad to hear that. He was diagnosed back in October with prostate cancer. So that's some awesome news right there. So, and tonight, of course, we have AEW Dynamite coming up. And it's going to emanate from the USB Arena in Long Island, New York. We have Bryan Danielson versus John Silver. The Young Bucks versus Rocky Romero and Orange Cassidy. We have the 2021 Dynamite Diamond Battle Royal. That was the Diamond Ring tournament I referred to, so my bad. And we have Jamie Hayter versus Riho. And probably, I'm sure, so much more action. And that is it for my review of AEW, and as well as some good news from the wrestling front for a change. Be sure to tune in next week for another edition of the Wrestling Artistry Podcast. And until then, people, so long for now.